Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the bridge once again. It's day 14 at the Paris Olympics. The games are almost over, and we have yet another session with a super fan who's joined us straight from Paris. We have with us Mr. Kapil Choudhary. Kapil, thank you again for taking out time and joining us on this afternoon.
Thanks for inviting me, Sayan.
Yeah, yeah. So we have lots to talk about. I have some very interesting questions for you because all of us are very jealous of people like you who are getting to travel and watch all the events, watch all the Indian athletes compete at the biggest stage of them all. So I'll just straight jump straight into it. My first question is just a basic question. How has Paris treated you in the last 2 weeks or so? How has it been so far?
Yeah, it's been good. It's obviously been mixed. There have been good moments, there have been bad moments. Even in terms of Paris treating me, there have been good moments, bad moments. So a mixed bag. I will say about Paris, one thing I was impressed was with the stadium design. Quite a few events I had really cheap tickets, mainly like say badminton, tennis, um, even boxing wasn't the cheapest. Athletics, yeah, I had really cheap tickets, but the views were amazing. I was blown away by how good the views were despite being on the cheap seats. So that's one thing I'll say. Weightlifting was the opposite. I had the costliest tickets, and I still the view was blocked by the cameraman. So that's how it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, I guess. I just wanted to get a sense of is this the first time you're traveling to attend a multi-sporting event? Just let us know what all other events you have covered over the years
Yeah,
and
so
been
I
to.
have traveled before. I mean, talking about multi-sport events, the first one was Commonwealth Games in Delhi in 2010. So that was the first multi-sport event, and after that, I went to Rio 2016. Though I was there at the Olympics in Rio, though I was there only for like 5 6 days. And this time, yeah, so this is like the third multi-sport event, Paris. I had tickets for Tokyo as well, but Tokyo then got cancelled for the public. And this time, yeah, I've been throughout the Olympics. So I've been there for the entire 12, 13 days, whatever they have been there.
Okay, okay, great, great. That is absolutely great. So, people joining in live on this session, let me just remind you, still 2 days left at the Paris Olympics. We have Aman Sarawar's bronze medal bout later today. We have Ritika Huda tomorrow. We have golf going on still. We have multiple events still left. So, yeah, stay tuned to our content. Subscribe our platforms on social media. Read our articles on thebridge.in and please support our channel if you can. The link is right there in the description section. Getting back to you, Kapil, a lot of fans don't really know how to react to our performance in Paris so far because what with so many fourth finishes and close losses. So since you are there and you have a sense of the pulse of the situation, how are you looking at it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, it's mixed. We have had good results, we have had bad results. But if I have to say overall, I mean, honestly, I'm not too different. You have to say it has been slightly disappointing. It's not a disaster or anything of that sort. But yeah, it definitely is a little disappointing because even if you see right now, we have 5 medals and we have six fourth place finishes. So, and that medals covers one, two, three, right? So if you just look at averages, your medal should be at least three times more than your fourth place finishes. And then you also get medals for fourth places in many sports like wrestling, boxing, etc. So overall, it cannot be denied. It has been a slightly disappointing Olympics, but yeah, it is one of those cases where the close margins didn't go for us. I mean, six fourth place finishes are way too many, and I'm the one who always says that we Indians feel that we it's always हमारे साथ ही क्यों होता है, that kind of feeling. But I always say that's not the case. सबके साथ होता है. Everybody feels it, and everybody gets fourth. Everybody gets medals also. But yeah, this Olympics from a fourth perspective has definitely it's broken all records. I mean, six fourth place finishes as compared to 5 medals is definitely too much. And we all in Paris have also felt the hurt, but then we also have also felt the joy. At least yesterday was a great day. We won the hockey bronze, and he and Neeraj won the silver, but he did his best. You can't do anything when Ashad throws 90 to 97. But yeah, so it was at least a great day yesterday. So we are coming back. But yeah, overall, I cannot deny it has been a slightly disappointing Olympics.
Yeah, it's all about the small margins, I guess. Like people like Arjun Babuta and all of those people who finished fourth.
Yeah.
It's just about the small margins. Coming back to you and you being in Paris, so what are the events that you have managed to be present for, and what have been your most favorite takeaways from a few of those events so far?
Yeah, okay. So mostly I've been to India events. I think I did go to BMX cycling, which was a non-India event, but it was very hot, and sat there for only like half an hour. Plus, I have my family with me, so they especially didn't like the heat. And the one non-India event I did go was Djokovic versus Alcaraz in the final. So that definitely is one of the highlights. Other than that, I think out of the five Indian medals, I've seen four. I only missed Swapnil Kusale, and out of the six fourth place finishes also, I think I've seen four, something like that. But yeah, eventually I've been to badminton, I've been to tennis, I've been to boxing, I've been to hockey. I went to the quarter semis and the bronze medal match, so that is the one sport which I've been the most. I've been to wrestling, I've been to shooting. Yeah, shooting I went for the first 4 days, so that is the most one you can say. And yeah, other than that, mainly the Indian events. Weightlifting, Mirabai Chanu event. So all the major Indian events have been there.
So for shooting, I have this personal question. So, how easy is it to follow the action in while you are sitting in the audience pavilion in the shooting range? Because on the TV it looks like there's barely anything is visible. Is that the case? Do you have to check your phones for the scores, or is it better than that? Because on screen it looks like you can't follow much.
Yeah, you definitely don't need to check your phones for the scores in the final hall at least. Okay, okay, let me split it into two. So there are two things. One is the qualification, the other is the final. Okay. Now the qualification obviously doesn't come on TV itself, so you have to check your scores only if you're not in the arena. If you're in the arena, there's a long line of shooting athletes, and everybody is shooting their own thing. The one thing which I really like to observe in the qualification arena is who's taking a break, who's talking to the coach, who maybe takes a break after a while, who sits down, who just continuously shoots. You can observe all these things which you can't do on telly, but in the qualification they don't come only. And the best thing you can do in qualification is you find where the Indian athlete is and you sit behind that, which is what I did at least on a couple of occasions. I mean, I was right behind the one where I was the closest was the first event, the rifle mixed team event, where I was right behind Ramita and Ramita ke saath, I think Arjun tha. I'm not 100% sure.
Arjun, yeah.
I think Ramita and Arjun were there. So we sat right behind them. So if you sit right behind them, you can definitely see their scores, and there is a big screen where you can also follow the rankings. So if you have a good seat, you don't need to see the phones. And the finals also, you definitely don't need a phone. Finals also, actually, I don't know why they do this at the Olympics. They cover only like one shooter when a shot is there. They keep alternating between shooters. If you've ever watched an ISSF final, they have all the eight scores at the bottom of the screen, at which point you don't need any phones or anything. But in the finals, all the shooting is definitely an experience. You're not going to get to see movement, so you can't, for example, it's still, shooters standing there and shooting. You can see little movements, and you're largely following the scores, but you don't need a phone for it. You have everything in front of you, and you can follow your shooters, you can follow other shooters. You have a big screen showing you the rankings. It's a great experience.
Yeah, yeah, it must be. A word about the French hospitality, because you have been there for quite some time now, and how easy or difficult has it been from a logistical standpoint to cover the distance and manage your time and all of that? How has that been?
Yeah, so hospitality has been reasonably fine. The volunteers have been extremely helpful. They have ensured that they have English speaking volunteers everywhere. Even if some volunteer doesn't speak English, they will direct you to someone who's speaking English. They also have a lot of volunteers, which is surprising. Everybody holding, that finger signs pointing which is the right direction to go to and how do you get to the stadium. So from that perspective, it has been good. In terms of distances, again, it has varied from stadium to stadium. For example, shooting was excellent. Shooting, I took my car straight to the parking lot. From the parking lot, I took a shuttle, barely 2 kilometers, which gets me to the range. From there, also, I managed to find a golf cart, which takes me the last 500 meters if you don't want to walk. So, shooting, getting there was extremely easy. At the same time, in Roland Garros, Djokovic Alcaraz, we reached properly, but we had gone for an earlier match, which we couldn't even reach because we reached at the wrong gate, and then they sent us to the other gate, and it was all a mess. So it has varied. There are some stadiums where it is very easy to get to. Wrestling is another one. Your taxi will get you right to the gate. And then there are other stadiums where you have to walk a lot. The other thing is obviously public transport. You can always take public transport. We actually took public transport only once. Anyways, it's four of us, so cost wise, it comes nearly the same thing for us, because the four of us, the taxi cost gets reduced, right? And Paris has one thing, it is there in Paris, is they have drawn a cost out of everything. Even the public transport, the costs have been really increased. I mean, I can tell you it's like 16 euros per day for public transport. So which is 1600 rupees per day for public transport, which apparently is three times the price or something, from what I heard. So cost wise, they are definitely, they don't let you go at all, Paris. But hospitality wise, again, a mixed bag. And if you take public transport, you'll get there. You'll have to walk. Maybe you have to walk a kilometer at times. Maybe you have to walk a little more, but you'll get there. In taxi, you have to find, but you get there. Overall, I think it has been. It started badly for me as I was still figuring things out on the first couple of days, but after that we have worked it out, and I think it's going well.
Great, great. So you mentioned the athletics events and the atmosphere in the stadium for those events. So I think a lot of people are of the opinion that the athletics events this year has been the best ever. A lot of people
Mhm.
are saying that, and a big part of that has been the crowd, of course. So could you take us through how the atmosphere exactly was inside the stadiums when you were there, and how the audience was reacting to it? Because on the television it looked like people were having a ball.
Yeah, so if you're talking about athletics in particular, I went only to yesterday Neeraj Chopra's event, and it was actually a dominant, let's say, US, France, and Netherlands. These were the three countries who were dominant in terms of the people. Netherlands were there obviously for FMK Bowl. You could see a lot of orange across the stadium. Everybody likes US athletes. There were a lot of US fans, and France is obviously France. So yeah, the atmosphere was great. It used to always, pick up when something big is happening. So let's say a big long jump, let's say the US gold medalist, the Tara Woodhull Davis, if she's coming for the long jump, and she also has that personality where she tries to rev everyone up. So at that point, the cheers will really start. People will really start standing up and watch her jump. 200-meter, when it came, obviously everybody is, gung ho. The entire 200-meter, you have to stand and watch in the stadium. You can't sit and watch. And FMK Bowl, 400-meter the hurdles, we had to stand right through. Everybody was cheering. It was huge. Unfortunately, I mean, people love the world record, but unfortunately, it wasn't a bit of a contest. Otherwise, I think it could have been even loud, because the Netherlands contingent kind of it slightly silent once Femke Bowl started going behind. So yeah, it's an absolutely great atmosphere. And one thing which I said is that even if you're in the nosebleed seats right at the back, your view was excellent. I can tell you, for the javelin throw on TV, you see Neeraj throwing the javelin and then the javelin basically landing. That's what you see on TV. But from my seats, I could follow the entire trajectory. You could see the entire parabola. You can see where it's going. Will it fall? You can see some athletes, they'll throw it high. So it will go high, but it will come down. Other, you can see it is much more flatter. Neeraj, I can tell you, most of its throws were much more flatter. Ashad had a little higher throw, but it carried as well. Even most other athletes, in fact, had a higher angle than Neeraj. That I can tell you. But yeah, atmosphere wise, overall great. I think even hockey stadium, the atmosphere was great. I think I will say this, that in the bronze medal match, a lot of Indians there, but we were gutted. The bronze medal match was one match where I felt it took some time for the atmosphere to pick up, because after everything that had happened the previous day, Indians were gutted, and we were trying to shout, but that energy was not there. And then it eventually came once the goals came in. So yeah, and shooting, because it's a small arena, the noise becomes loud, because it reverberates. Badminton is same, it's not that big an arena, so the noise really reverberates.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned the presence of Indian fans supporting their athletes. Has it been has the number been a little less than previous editions in your opinion? Because I remember watching Lakshya's match. I think it was the last group match, if I'm not wrong,
Mhm.
and there was another match going simultaneously, and uh, we were at the bridge office. We were a little confused because every time Lakshya was winning a point, there was no cheers, nothing, and every time there was in the middle of a point, the people would start cheering because they were actually cheering for the other match where a French shuttler was probably playing. But you don't associate that with Indian fans, right? Because when your athlete is winning, an Indian athlete is winning, you expect Indians to be there and shout at the top of their voices. So, in your opinion, has it been slightly less the Indian presence across events?
Yeah, so if you're talking about numbers, I think the only stadiums we were able to take over, so to, or we were sort of the loudest, or we in the majority was shooting. Shooting, we definitely had a huge presence. Most of the other people, a lot of the, not most, but a lot of the other people in shooting were either some way related to the shooters, or part of the team or something. Pure fans, and we were the only ones making noise. So shooting, we definitely took over. Lakshya, I can't talk about the group stage game because I didn't go, but yeah, it was not that we were dominant, and as we see in cricket where we completely take over. That was definitely not the case. And in Lakshya, I went for the bronze medal match. Lakshaya's cheers were definitely uh, let's say equivalent to Malaysia, because badminton is a huge sport in Malaysia as well. So it's not like we can dominate them. They were also not dominating us. It generally used to go based on how the play was going. And I don't know if if the opposite match was, for example, maybe from Indonesia, then obviously Indonesians take over badminton. And I can even say even in Lakshaya's bronze medal match, the most fans were probably from Denmark, who had come all to support Victor Axelsen in the gold medal match. So yeah, number wise, hockey, you can say hockey, we were there, but it's not like again we were taken over. There were, even it was, let's say, 50-50 even in hockey matches. Whenever we had the opponent, whatever the opponent be Germany in the semis, or Spain in the finals, or we had Britain in the quarters, it was usually around 50-50. Yeah, Indians, we do shout a little more, but other than that, number wise, yeah, it's not that we had taken over anywhere, other than maybe shooting.
Yeah, yeah. Also, so I saw this tweet which Vaibhav had made, and it said that you were quite unhappy that the hockey final could potentially clash with Neeraj's event, and that was really funny. And so in retrospect, I'm guessing you got to watch both the matches, right? The bronze medal match and Neeraj's event
Yeah,
in the end.
yeah.
So how did that work out? How was that? How was the moment when you realized we are not getting to go for the gold medal, but then again you'll get to watch both events hopefully.
I
So how
mean,
was that moment?
I mean, I can't say it's a happy moment, right? Okay, I'm getting to watch the bronze medal match, but I'd still much rather have them in the final and let them, win, even if I'm not watching there. Okay, I'll watch it on the phone while watching Neeraj, no problem there. But yeah, it was one of those things, which we knew while buying tickets itself, which is a good like 1.5 year process. 1.5 year we knew that 7th and 8th August, these were two dates where the clashes were really bad. And I talked about, it was what the Weber tweeted was mainly a joke. Obviously, I was joking that let's start a revolution or whatever. It's a joke, but yeah, the thing is the way we won the quarterfinal against Britain, it really gave hope that this can happen. Especially because Germany is there in the semis, they are not an unbeatable team. We showed they are not an unbeatable team. Yes, we lost 3-2 because of a last 5-minute goal, but we gave it our all, and we could have easily won that match. So it is like hockey has such a this huge history. Even I have been brought up hearing that we have those 8 gold medals in hockey, and having to miss that. If we get to the final, I am in the city and I can't go. And on the other hand, you have Neeraj Chopra, who's probably the greatest Indian Olympic athlete now at this point. So it was like the two biggest things are clashing. And what can you do? And we tried everything. Can I run from here and there? It was not possible. It was right head-on clash. So yeah, but it's fine. I can tell you what happened. I mean, obviously after the semi-final, you are really disappointed. But I bought the bronze medal tickets sitting in that stadium right after the semi-final finished, because I didn't have bronze medal tickets before that. You don't want to buy bronze medal tickets before that because you are going for the semi final. You want them to win. You don't want them to lose and get to the bronze medal match. So, but yeah, it's obviously a two-way thing. But yeah, the fact that I watched doesn't change the fact that I would have been fully behind them going to the final, even if I don't watch. That's okay.
Of course, yeah. You mentioned the hockey bronze medal match, and the hockey medal incidentally was the first in Paris because the others
Yes,
were in Chateauroux, right?
correct.
So if you could just take us through the final few moments when the team looked like they were going to clinch the bronze and the players started celebrating soon after the final whistle. What was the emotion like? What was the ambience like?
Yeah, so first of all, I'll say in the fourth quarter, right through, maybe Spain was pushing a bit, so it was a little scary in the fourth quarter, but they never really got that really great chance other than their PCs. It never looked, a field goal never came close to happening other than that one disallowed goal. So there was definitely tension in the air. We definitely were worried that can we hold. We had a lot of fans had seen the Britain match, which was similar. So we were basically counting the minutes down. We were counting the minutes down. We were counting the seconds down. There was a green card around the 7 minute, which was another worrisome factor for Sukhjit Singh. And we were obviously cheering our team. Then they left. Then they removed the goalkeeper, and we were like, can you just get there? But the ball was not. We weren't able to hold to the ball, so we were just counting the seconds down. And obviously, then eventually it gets down. In the end, all the focus was on Srijesh. There were two PCs, I think, in the last 2 minutes or 1 minute or whatever, and entire the Indian contingent was just cheering for Srijesh. This was his moment, his last 1.5 minutes. Same thing happened against Germany in the bronze medal match when there was a PC at the end. We just had to save this PC. And once the PC was saved in that last 45 seconds, the match came on. Same thing. Everybody, just looking at the clock, waiting for it to end. And once the hooter came, yeah, there was jubilation. There was jubilation right around. There was jubilation in the players. There was jubilation in the fans. Um, we were a little beat down from the previous day, but this was a release that we all of us needed. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think the thing that you mentioned, that people were cheering Srijesh when the last two penalty corners were going to take place, and I think that put the pressure back on the Spanish players a little bit, because they fumbled on both of those penalty corners,
Yeah,
and they couldn't get their drag flick going. So yeah,
yeah, hopefully.
finally, Kapil, what are your plans going ahead? We still have a couple more days, like I mentioned in the beginning of the conversation. What are you planning to do, and what are your plans?
Yeah, so as of now, I'm going to for the men's bronze medal match today evening, and that is the last ticket I have. We mainly have the golfers and Ritika Huda left. Golf, I'm not sure. I'll go golf. One thing which I didn't mention is that there is a lot of heat in Paris. I mean, even as an Indian, you feel the heat in Paris. Not so much now. Maybe it was more around 31st, 1st August, somewhere there. But yeah, so golf, I don't think I'll go. I don't have tickets also, unless Aditi and Diksha come really at the top. I won't be going to the golf. And yeah, I'll wait on Ditika Huda. If Ditika Huda does something, then I'll try to find tickets. But otherwise, right as of now, today's Aman's Bronze is my last session. Though I will be there till 11th on Paris,
Great.
11th in Paris. Yeah,
Yeah, great, great. All the best to you. Let's hope that you can become the person who brings the Indian athletes luck for the remaining events as well. Both Aman and Jitika tomorrow.
yeah,
So yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Kapil. Thank you so much for taking out time and speaking to us. We'll let you get back to your schedule, and yeah, let's see what transpires in the next 2 days or so. Thank you so
yeah.
much again.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yeah, bye bye.
Thank you.